Leandra, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. I would love if you decided to stick around and subscribe and join my tiny but mighty family. Today I'm going to be doing kind of a different video. I'm going to be doing my first story time, and if you can tell by the title and my uniform, I'm going to be talking about why I quit my job at Sephora. There's a lot to say. Yeah, so I've worked there twice and I quit both times. This is going to be my part one on why I quit, and then if you guys want to hear why I quit for the second time, definitely let me know down below and I definitely will do that for you guys. And for anyone who wants to work at Sephora, I hope this video doesn't scare you in any way to not want to work at Sephora. I promise you Sephora is a great company. I just think I had bad luck at the Sephora that I was working at. So if you are interested in working in Sephora, the hiring process is a little bit difficult. I would love to make a video on how I got hired at Sephora and any tips that I have to give to you guys on how to get a job at Sephora. Let me know if you would love to hear a video on that, because I will definitely make a video. I just want to add a disclaimer that this video is not to bash Sephora. I will still shop at Sephora, not the one I used to work at, of course, but I definitely will still be shopping at Sephora. I think they are a great company. I worked at a Sephora inside of a JCPenney. I do not like JCPenney as a company. I think they are a money-hungry company. I will never shop at a JCPenney. I never have shopped at a JCPenney, and I will continue to not shop there. I've seen a lot of why I quit Sephora videos, and a lot of them had to do with the management and stuff like that, and I would have to 100% agree with that. And also a lot of them had to do with Sephoras that were inside of a JCPenney, not so much ones that are freestanding Sephoras. I have a bunch of notes on my phone on why I quit Sephora, because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. I want to get everything out to you guys, be 100% open and transparent. So the first reason why I quit Sephora was because of the scheduling issues. Now, the way that the shifts work at Sephora, they were basically 7 to 8 hour shifts every single shift. There was really no such thing as a short shift, so you either had like a 9 to 5, a 12 to 8, or like a 2 to 9. So, which was fine if you're good with like working long shifts. I did not really mind. It was just the way that the scheduling was set up. It was all done online, and a lot of the time it was very all over the place. There were some times where there was somebody scheduled 6 days a week, some people were being scheduled 2 days a week, and there was just really no balance. There were people who didn't go to school and were working 2 days a week, while people like me who were still in college were working 5 days a week. So there really wasn't no like rhyme or reason to why people were scheduled the way that they were, and it was actually quite frustrating. And also my manager would change the schedule a lot of the time without letting you know, which was really frustrating, because I know for me, I check my schedule online, I take a screenshot, and I follow my schedule. I found it to be very unprofessional to change a schedule that has already been set and posted. And if you need someone to come in earlier or to come in on a different day, you should ask them for permission or let them know ahead of time that the schedule has been changed. I had my first issue with this the first week I was working there. We have something at Sephora called education, where someone from corporate comes to your store and they educate you on new products that are coming out, how to use certain products on certain customers, and stuff like that. So these are very important days. Everyone who works in the store is scheduled that day to be at the education, so you cannot miss. Education is 100% mandatory. And I remember on my schedule it said I was supposed to come in at 3 o'clock. And for reference, I live about 30 minutes away from the Sephora I worked at, so I would always leave the house an hour to 45 minutes before my scheduled shift, just in case, because sometimes I would hit traffic, or you never know, and I would just feel more safe. And I'm not the type of person to forget I have a shift, to come in late, ever. So I know when I have a scheduled shift. So I left the house around 2, and then I get a call from my manager, and she's like, oh hey, where are you at, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh, I'm on my way to work, I thought I was scheduled at 3. And she's like, no, you're scheduled at 2 and you have education. I'm like, oh crap, you know, like I'm really sorry, I must have looked at the schedule wrong, like I'm on my way. So after I hung up, I was like, you know, I'm pretty sure that I worked at 3 o'clock. So I text my coworker really quick. I'm like, hey, did the schedule say 3 o'clock? And she's like, no, you're supposed to come in at 2. And I'm like, okay, no problem, my mistake. So I get to work and I pull up my schedule that I had screenshotted a couple days earlier, and it said 3 o'clock. So I knew that I wasn't crazy. I knew what time I worked. So I get to work, and of course everyone's doing the education. I just look like an asshole who showed up late to work. So I just kind of start walking around and helping clients. And my manager comes up to me and says, hey, what happened? Did you forget you worked today? Just running late? And I said, no, you scheduled me for 3 o'clock. And I showed her the picture, and she's like, oh yeah, it's your responsibility to check online before your shifts to make sure it hasn't changed. And that really pissed me off, because it is not my responsibility before every single shift to check and make sure my shift is still at the scheduled time that it was a couple days ago or the night before. That's completely irresponsible. That is very unprofessional. That did not sit well with me whatsoever. And the way that she made it seem like it was all my fault, when she 100% could have called me the night before and said, hey, can you come in an hour early? Even if she called me the day of and asked if I can come in an hour early, I would have happily come in an hour early. So that's really frustrated me. And aside from that, like I said, I am in university, so school comes first for me. No job will ever come first before school. And I went to school about 3 days a week. And I told my manager I cannot work these days at these times. And she was like, well, I need someone who's flexible. And I wanted this job at Sephora so freaking bad that I even told her, if you need me to work these days, I will work them after I get off of school. And that was, for some reason, an issue for her. She would consistently schedule me days that I had school, consistently schedule me at the same time that I was in class. So obviously I couldn't show up to my shift, and every time I would tell her, hey, you scheduled me while I'm in class, she would be like, well, you said you were flexible. And it just really started to bug me, because there were times where I felt so obligated to be at work that I would leave class early to go to work, and that's completely inappropriate. That's just not something that I like doing. That's not something I believe in. Like I said, school has always come first for me. And for her to tell me at my interview that it was 100% okay that I went to school and that school came first, and then as soon as I was hired, for her to kind of make me feel bad about going to school was not okay. In addition to that, one time she did threaten to fire me because I told her I couldn't come into work because she scheduled me while I was in class. And honestly, that's what pushed me to finally put in my 2 weeks after I had dealt with all of this stuff that I'm still going to talk about. The second reason why I quit was because of the unprofessional way of training. And I know Sephora has a great training program that you have to do before you start working. It's like you watch a lot of videos, it's really interactive, it's a really great training program. Unfortunately, my Sephora, we were never able to complete the training. And again, that is completely unprofessional. This whole establishment was just 100% unprofessional. I worked there for the first time for about 3 months, and then when I came back I worked for another 4 months, and I was there for, I guess altogether maybe 7 to 8 months. Within those 7 to 8 months I never completed my training because we were so understaffed. And so that basically leads me to my third point, that we were understaffed like hell. At a Sephora inside JCPenney, we were supposed to have 8 people working at a time. We had about 4 to 5 at one given time, which is ridiculous. You guys know how busy Sephora's can get, especially during the holidays and back to school and stuff like that. From being understaffed, my manager would be like, oh, you know, it's fine if you guys are here by yourself. Because when we were scheduled, like I said, there would be people who were there from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night by themselves because we were understaffed, or because my manager didn't give a shit on how to schedule. So she'd be like, oh, it's fine, just call an LOD. And the LODs are basically like people who work inside JCPenney, like managers who can come in and like help you if like things get crazy in the store. And you know, when you get crazy in the store, like all we could do is call on the walkie-talkie, like, can I have an LOD to Sephora? And they would either not show up, they won't answer you back, they'll come in and help one customer and then leave. Like, it was just, honestly, this place was a zoo. So we were completely understaffed. So because of this, of course, the new people who were hired in were not allowed to be in the back training. They had to be on the floor helping the customers, and that kind of caused a lot of us to not know what's going on, not know how to do things. It's really embarrassing when a client asks us a question and we don't know something, or we're at the register and we don't know how to do something. It reflects badly on us, it reflects badly on the company, and ultimately it reflects badly on the higher ups, like our managers and stuff. And that really frustrated me, that we were never able to finish our training. It was just absolutely crazy to me. We were doing stuff that we weren't trained to do. A lot of the store policies we did not know about until like an issue came up where we had to be taught the policy, like the return policies. There were a lot of different return policies for different products and stuff like that, and of course we were never trained on them or informed on them until someone had a return and I didn't know what to do. So again, that was just frustrating, and to say the least. Another reason why I quit Sephora was because of the Beauty Insider. If you guys don't know what a Beauty Insider is, a Beauty Insider is Sephora's reward program. So basically you get a little card, and every time you go into the store to buy something, you give us your card and you'll get you get a point for every dollar that you spend. You do not need to be part of our rewards program if you don't want to be. It is a rewards program. It is optional. If you want to be a part of a rewards program, then fine, be a part of a rewards program. But at my Sephora, they were very intense on getting people to sign up. They would almost force people to sign up, and I'm not someone who will force you to sign up for something that you don't want to sign up for. If you don't want to be a Beauty Insider, then you don't have to. A lot of people who didn't want to sign up were little kids, or people who just came in like once a year to pick up their one product that they need and go, or men who were buying something for their wife or their girlfriend or whatever. So obviously people are going to say no, and that's your right to say no. But my manager would keep track of all our scores, how many people denied, how many people we signed up, how many people we had swipe their cards, and would pull me especially and other people in the back room and talk about what we need to do to improve our scores. And there was one time where I was kind of fed up with forcing people to sign up, or people getting frustrated with me because I was consistent on them signing up, that I just let people decline. I'm like, you know what, yeah, you're right, you don't have to sign up if you don't want to. That's your choice. And my manager called me back and was like, yeah, you know, what can we do to improve on this? Like, what can we do better? And I told her, like, you know, people want to say no, I'm not going to be insistent and continue to force people to sign up when they don't want to sign up. And by the way, Sephora's reward program is actually ass. Ulta's is way better. For as much money that you spend to get these little rinky-dink sample sizes of products is completely ridiculous. I think it's a waste of time. That's just me being honest, but whatever. Anyways, back to what I was saying. And my manager basically told me that my score, I had the worst score in the store, that the whole store's composite Beauty Insider score was gone down because my score was the worst, blah blah blah. I needed to sign this many people up by the end of this date and stuff like that, and it was just really frustrating. And to hear that like every day that you work, even though you're doing the best that you can, it is impossible to go a day without having someone tell you they don't want to be a member. The reason kind of going off of the Beauty Insider was JCPenney credit cards. I don't know why in Sephora we had to sign people up for JCPenney credit cards. It was completely ridiculous. Nobody in Sephora wants to sign up for a JCPenney credit card, especially if they don't get any rewards or benefits from using it inside Sephora, except for they get points. That's it. They don't get 20% off. They don't get to like finance shit or whatever. Like, they don't get any of the benefits. They can't use any coupons inside Sephora, and JCPenney would basically force us to sign people up for credit cards, which is ridiculous. I feel horrible. I was basically convincing people to get into debt when they don't need a fucking JCPenney credit card. I mean, it was absolutely ridiculous. The people who were working inside JCPenney would consistently come in and hound us, being like, you still haven't signed someone up for a credit card, you have 45 minutes left until you can sign someone up for a credit card. They would call people out on the walkie-talkies and be like, Leandra inside Sephora, you've been on your shift for 4 hours, you still haven't signed anyone up for a credit card. And the walkie-talkies would be on loud, and I would be bringing people up you know, and they would say that in front of a customer, and it would be so embarrassing. Like, they can read my name tag, like they know we're signing people up for credit cards because we're forced to, not because we genuinely think you need one. The last reason, honestly, why I quit Sephora the first time, it has to be for the disgusting work environment. And this is more on JCPenney's end. In the employee bathrooms that we had downstairs, like, I will insert pictures here or somewhere on the full screen, whatever. I will insert pictures, and if you guys can see, the whole ceiling in the bathroom was completely gone. Like, there was no ceiling, and that was because the building was so old and disgusting and not kept up with, that I don't know if that was like from water or mildew or mold or whatever, but the ceiling completely was just gone. And that was inside the stalls in this picture, where there was just a huge tub of disgusting moldy water that would just collect all the water, and they didn't do that. Was in there for months. They didn't do anything, and that's in the employee bathroom. Like, that's absolutely disgusting. That just shows how JCPenney cares about their employees. Like, it's just disgusting. There have been times where the air would go out in the middle of the summer. We would be like hot, like drenched in sweat, and these tunics are really thick and it gets hot in there with all the lights and everything. And we would have customers complain about why it was so hot, and JCPenney would just be like, oh well, just tell the customers that it's just an old building, you know, stuff happens. Like, no, it doesn't happen. Fix the fucking issues. Like, it is disgusting that we have to be working in these environments. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. So basically, long story short, those are all the reasons why I quit Sephora: because of scheduling issues, unprofessional manager, beauty insider, disgusting work environment. That was why I quit, basically, for the first time. Like I said, there is a second reason why I quit that's a lot bigger than this. If you guys want to hear why I quit Sephora for the second time, definitely let me know down below, and I would love to make another video. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you liked this video, thumbs it up, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Mwah.